And people said I wouldn't even be able to hit 100 subscribers without a voice. We are almost at 600 now.
Welcome back, everyone. I am the small engine mechanic, and today we are going to be troubleshooting and restoring a mower to life. According to the owner, this mower has not started in 5 years, and they just want it running. So let's get started. First thing, we need to check the oil level and pull on the starter to make sure the engine hasn't locked up. The engine seems to be turning over pretty good, so let's check out the fuel system. We will need to remove the air filter cover, an air filter to get to the bolts that hold the carburetor on. The air filter is not very clean, so it will be replaced. 2 nuts will need to be removed to access the carburetor. Using a pair of vice grips, we will pinch off the fuel supply line and remove the hose clamp from the carburetor. We will need to remove the throttle linkage, which is normally very easy. In this case, we will have to remove the thermal choke linkage, which will require us to remove the blower housing and starter. Now we can remove the 2 nuts that hold the thermal choke in place. Make a mental reminder or take a photo of the position that the thermal lever and the carburetor are in. Now we can remove the throttle linkage and return spring. The carburetor should just slide right off. I don't see any cracks or defect by visually inspecting the exterior of the carb. So let's open the carb up and see what it looks like. We can break the walnut loose, and utilizing a glass jar, we can check the condition of the fuel. The fuel has a very bad smell to it. The bowl nut is covered with a tar-like substance. Put all the pieces into a cleaning basket. That wasn't good. I'll be right back. Reinstalling the bowl nut into the carb makes it easier to break the bowl loose without damaging the O-ring. This does not look good. Varnish has sat in it for a long time. going to need a pair of pliers to remove the hinge pin and float. Now we need to remove the main jet and emulsion tube. The main jet is totally clogged, and the emulsion tube holes are clogged. Now we must remove the pilot jets by first removing the idle screw. And there we have it. Carb is now ready for cleaning. The float is covered with varnish, and they're supposed to be bright white in color. The ultrasonic cleaner will have its work cut out for it today. While the carburetor was cleaning, I went ahead and cleaned the fuel tank on the mower. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more small engine repair tips. Here are the results of the carb cleaner. As you can tell, the float is a lot brighter now. There's still some debris in the bowl, but a wire brush will make short work of that. As with the float, you can see an obvious difference between now and before. The main jet is still clogged, so I will need to use jet cleaning tips to clear it out. A pick is a great tool to break a lot of the varnish loose. Using a gauged wire will help clear the rest of the debris. To clean the holes on the emulsion tube, we'll require an even smaller pick to clear the holes. Using some brake cleaner is an easy way to verify that the holes have been cleared. On the pilot valve, there is a very small hole in the bottom through which you should be able to have brake cleaner spray. On the carburetor, it's a good idea to spray every orifice. Now we are ready for reassembly. First, we will install the emulsion tube with the long tip downward. Then the main jet will follow. Tighten the main jet only until it stops. Now we will install the float and needle. Make sure that the tip of the needle is cleaned before reassembling. Then we will insert the hinge pin. The bowl will follow after that. Ensure the drain nut is the opposite of the fuel intake. Replace the bowl nut gasket and bowl nut. Tighten down snugly. Now we will reinstall the pilot valve and idle set screw. Thread it back in until it just hits the throttle lever. Now we are ready to reinstall. We will slide the carburetor back onto the mounting studs. Then reinstall the throttle linkage and return spring, followed by the choke linkage and thermal choke lever. Reconnect the fuel line and hose clamp to the carburetor. Replace the air filter gasket and filter base. Reinstall the two air filter mounting nuts and tighten them down. Now reinstall the blower housing and starter. After replacing the air filter and filter cover, we are ready to give this engine a test run, but first, we need some gasoline. First pull, and it started right up. I would say this is a good one, so that can only mean one thing.
It looks like another one is good to go.